Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new video. Now today you join me for another car review. You join me in the Suzuki Swift GLX. This is my own personal car. You guys have already seen it when I did the reveal video. Now I know I've been gone for a while and the truth is your boy needs some time out. It's been a really hectic year. It was my final academic year, and there's a lot for me to reflect on. I want to spend time with family and friends. You know, it's the festive season, and we all just want to get our minds away from our usual busy life, that is. So that's what's happening with me. And I also want to regain some motivation to keep making videos. Not that I'm demotivated, but I just want to take some time out, rejuvenate, and just make videos whenever the time allows now. But worry not, I will be back in full force, uploading regularly and so on. But I just thought I should do a review for you guys with this car because it's a very interesting car. This market is really booming. New car buyers, newly employed people looking for a car to buy that is relatively affordable and so on. So it's a very interesting market. So yeah, I've had this car for about 5 months now, since July. So I think I've spent enough time with it to tell you guys all that I need to tell you. Now I want this to also be the most comprehensive and most unfiltered Swift review that you'll ever find out there. I've previously reviewed the GA, which is the most basic Swift you can get. This is the top of the range before you get to the Sport. In fact, I'll exclude the Sport. I'll leave the Sport as a different car altogether. So with the Swift range, you have the GA, you have the GL, and this as the top of the range, which is the GLX. But enough about all of that. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get right into it. So, the Suzuki Swift GLX. Now, this is how this video is going to go down. I'm going to highlight the key features of the GLX, and then after that, I'll tell you things that I don't particularly like about this car, or just things that annoy me about this car. And then after that, we'll go for a drive. So, being on the exterior, the most prominent thing about the GLX is, of course, the wheels. So the GLX comes with these gorgeous 15-inch alloy wheels, which are two-tone. The front fascia is in silver, and then the inner sections are in gloss black, and they look absolutely gorgeous. And also the GLX wears wider tires, so it's sitting on 185mm tires, whereas the GA and GL come with 165mm section tires. That is all round, of course. Coming around to the side, the GLX has power folding mirrors. Now I'll demonstrate to you guys how these work when we jump into the interior. Another feature that has to do with the door is that the GLX comes with keyless entry. How that works is you'll notice there's this black button on the door handle. That's the button you use to lock and unlock the vehicle. Currently the vehicle is unlocked, as you can see. Now if I press this button, the car locks, and it also beeps as you hear. So now, as you can see, it's locked. Now if I press it again, it'll unlock, and then you can go in. This is actually very handy, most particularly when you have stuff in your hands and your keys in your pocket. Imagine now you have to put all your stuff down and then reach in for your pocket. With this keyless entry, you don't have to do any of that. You just press that and then it unlocks. So coming to the back, the keyless entry feature also extends to the back. It's currently locked, but I can unlock it using this. It's not reading the key for some reason. I have no idea why. Okay, there it read. I unlocked it. So there is this button right here on the boot, so it locks and unlocks the vehicle. The other button is for opening the boot. It's for releasing the latch. So keyless entry also extends into the back. And then in terms of the interior, that's pretty much, exterior, that's pretty much it with the GLX features. Now coming inside, I hope the radio doesn't go on. It'll probably go on, but I just want to demonstrate the mirrors. Now there's a button right here on the door. This joystick is for controlling. Ooh, what did I say? Radio, I did say. Okay, now there's a little joystick right here. This is for adjusting the mirrors, and then this button beneath the joystick is the one that controls the folding in and out of the mirrors. As you can see, the mirrors are folded in now, and that's cool. So the car is letting me know that the ignition is on and I'm with the key outside. Now if you press it again, the mirrors will unfold, which is really, really cool. Now the keyless system also comes with keyless start. As you can see, this car has an engine start stop button, so that's what you use for obviously starting and stopping your engine. There's a very loud motorcycle right there. Let's wait and wait. Okay, it's gone. Now, okay, another GLX feature, like I said, engine start stop button. And a highlight GLX feature on the interior is, of course, this touch screen. All the other ones don't have this. That is the GA and GL. You only find this touch screen in the GLX and the Sport. Okay, this is my last time mentioning the Sport because I don't want to include the Sport in this review. But yeah, you have this infotainment screen. As you can see at the moment, I'm running Apple CarPlay. It comes with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is very, very nice for this kind of vehicle. Like, it really sets this interior apart. As you can see, this interior is all plastic. And it's not particularly interesting. Not that it's boring, but for this kind of vehicle, having the screen, it just helps the interior pop a lot. The GLX also comes with automatic climate controls, which also look very, very nice in this interior. The standard ones look, yeah, ugly. When you go from these and you see the standard ones, they look very, very ugly. These are very nice. There's an LCD, well, LCD, not an LCD, but there's a digital display right there in the middle, just so you can see the wind speed, or the fan speed rather, the direction of the air, and so on, whether your AC is on or off, and you control your temperature using this one. And if you click the middle of this, that's how you set up your automatic climate control. And they look very, very nice. You have a USB socket down here, as well as an aux cord socket and a 12-volt socket on the left side, which is standard stuff. And yeah, oh, another thing I like is that the GLX actually has a better sound system. As you see right here on the A pillar, there's a speaker. In the GA and GL, the speaker is not there, and this makes a huge difference. When I did a review on the GA, I did say the sound system was really decent for the type of vehicle that is, but it would have been even more handier if it had an extra speaker around the A pillar area, and I'm glad to say the GLX has that extra speaker. Actually, one of the reasons why I really wanted the GLX is because of that extra speaker. I mean, I'm just that guy. I love music. I love listening to music in a car, so seeing that extra speaker there for me was a big selling point. I don't want to lie to you guys. Another thing is the seats. All Swifts come with a unique pattern on the seats depending on which trim level you have. So this is the pattern for the GLX, these kind of horizontal lines that go across the seat. The GL and GA have their own unique pattern. Yeah, floor mats say Swift right there. These seats are shared both in the GLX and the GL. The GA has even more basic seats with an integrated headrest. These ones are obviously adjustable, and yeah, the rest is normal goodies. You have power windows all around. Oh, the GLX also comes with parking sensors, but it's only on the rear. This is the button for controlling that, and a traction control button. I don't know what you're doing with the traction control button in a Swift, but hey, you can turn off your traction control if you so desire. Ooh, that screen also houses a reverse camera, so you get a reverse camera as well, which is pretty cool. Multifunction steering wheel, which looks really nice, as you can tell. It's also leather in the GLX. That's another GLX feature. In the GA and GL, it's just that normal rubberized material. So yeah, coming back to the outside. Okay, now I did say, okay, let me just turn off the ignition. Now I did say I want this to be the most comprehensive review, the most unfiltered. In terms of the exterior, this is actually the facelift Suzuki Swift. How you tell that is simply this chrome strip that runs across the grille. The pre-facelift only has like these horizontal lines, many of them across the grille, and the facelift also introduced this kind of honeycomb vibe going on right there on the grille. That is standard across the entire range. The GA, GL and GLX, they all have the same grille, but the GL and GLX have these fog lights, whereas the GA doesn't have. Yeah, mine is in this lucent orange metallic, which is absolutely gorgeous, especially when the sun hits it right here. As you guys can see, it's a very beautiful paint color. Now I'll get into the costs in the ownership cost video. Now, things I don't particularly like about this vehicle. On the exterior, there's actually nothing. Literally nothing. It's only within the interior, and the main problem is this car doesn't actually have the best build quality in the world. Now, I'm not saying it's supposed to be made out of leather and diamonds and whatever, but at least everything should be solid, especially when it's still new like this. And this car, things are not falling apart, but some things you question. One, down here, you'll notice this flaps like that. As you can see, I mean, it's not connected to anything. It doesn't rattle or anything, but the way it's so flimsy, you ask yourself how long it'll stay in place. So I'd like to see that. Another problem is actually rattles. Two rattles that really annoy me. One comes from the passenger footwell, so underneath the glove box. I think there's a little small tray down there that is a bit flimsy, and it's been rattling since new, like since day one, literally. I think it's because of how it's connected. It's not that it's falling apart or something, but it's made out of plastic, and the joints are also plastic, and they move around, so they rattle when you drive. Another rattling part, if we come to the back, if I just unlock the rear doors. So if we come to the back, the rear seat belt buckle, this thing right here, it also rattles. It's very loud. You can't particularly drive this car without listening to music, because the rattles will drive you crazy. You can't hear them when you're driving with music. Yeah, it's somewhat a big deal, but hey, I can forgive it, you know. Also, you guys should comment down below if there is any of you guys that also own a Swift out there. Let me know. Does your interior also rattle, or is it just mine? Do I have to take it back to the dealership so that they refit the stuff, or maybe tighten some bolts? I don't know. Do let me know. Other than that, the exterior is perfect. There's nothing that rattles on the exterior, like around the wheels or whatever. The suspension is good. It's really great. So I think now we can actually go for a drive. So guys, you join me inside. Woo. The aircon is just blasting away. It's so hot in here, goodness me. 29 degrees. It's not too bad, but inside this car it's like a greenhouse, so it's so hot inside the vehicle. But anyways, I'll turn down the phone speed just now. I just want to cool down a bit, and then I'll get chatting to you guys properly. Okay, so driving the Suzuki Swift. Okay, we just hit a bump right now, and that's where I'm going to start with the conversation. One of the most intriguing things about the Suzuki Swift is the ride quality. Like, that's one of the things that stand out the most when you first get into a Swift, particularly if you're only used to driving vehicles in this kind of class. Not only vehicles in this kind of class, even vehicles in a class above this one, like say a VW Golf, a Mercedes A-Class, or even a C-Class or a 3 Series or whatever, you know. The ride quality of this car really stands out. Partly it might have to do with the tires, because the tire profile is actually very chunky on the Swift. Now the tire profile is when you look at your wheels or your tires, so the side profile, the thickness of the rubber itself on the side determines or might determine your ride quality. Now if your sidewall is very thin, obviously the suspension will feel very rough. Take something like a BMW M4 for example. If you go look at the tires on an M4 competition, let's say, you'll notice the sidewall is very thin. Now on those cars, if you hit even like a small bump, the tires can easily go off on you. Like, you can easily get a puncture, whereas something like a Swift, the tire profile is very thick. Now I think that is a contributing factor to why this car rides so comfortably. Now there are other cars with a similar tire profile to the Swift, but still they don't have the same ride quality. You might argue something like a VW Polo has a similar-ish tire profile. If you have a look, you'll just see. But in my opinion, I don't think a Polo rides anywhere as good at this as this car does, because the ride quality in this car is just insane. I would leave it there. Just know that the ride quality is brilliant. The other thing is the space inside. Like, the Swift is very spacious. I don't even know like what the size of this car is in terms of the dimensions. I don't know if it's the size of, say, a Polo. I think it's more closer to something like a Polo. But inside here, like, the room is insane. Like, stuff like headroom you don't even have to think about, because there is an abundance amount of space. Like, even how far your dashboard is from you, like, you can really get comfortable driving this car. The seat goes really low, and you can just be snug. You can just enjoy driving it. It's that relaxing. Like, it's really beautiful. I took some pictures while driving back to home, like right here. I was driving back from Joburg coming to Limpopo, and the car was just full of stuff. I thought I should take some pictures for this review, because I've been thinking about this review for a while, and I was just chilling comfortably. The rear seats were folded, I had some stuff stacked in the back there, and I still had enough room. The passenger seat was completely vacant. There was nothing on the passenger seat, so I could even take someone with me. That's how great this car was for moving, because I was essentially moving out of my place in Joburg because I need to go to a new place, but that's a different story. But yeah, the room is brilliant in here. So one thing that you'll notice about driving a Suzuki Swift is that this car is very light. I think it weighs about 845 kilograms. That is very light. Even if you go onto the bodywork and try to shake it, like it shakes easily. Now the problem with that is, as soon as I got onto the N1, like, I bought this car right here in Zanin at the local Suzuki dealership. So as soon as I got onto the N1, one problem that you notice is the vehicles that drive with you or around you, when vehicles come past you, or when you come past other vehicles on the highway, let's just say, how do I put it? The shock wave that comes from the surrounding vehicles can push around the vehicle. So basically, let's say a lorry or even a normal hatchback car, sedan, whatever, comes overtaking me, I can literally feel the air coming from that vehicle push around the Swift, and it does like move around. Like, you need to have both your hands on the vehicle. Now, that was my first time experiencing that, because I was so used to driving something like a Golf, and that never happens in that. So it was a bit, yeah, the handling is a bit funny. Not the handling in general, because the car is so light, it gets moved around by wind coming from other vehicles essentially, but you only notice it on the highway. That's the only place you notice it. That out of the way. Now, the Swift has a 1.2 liter 4-cylinder engine pushing 61 kilowatts. Now, that power is standard across the entire range. It's the same power in the GA, the GL, and the GLX. Torque is 113 Newton meters of torque. You can get it as an auto or a manual. Mine is a manual. I think the manual suits this kind of vehicle better. Yeah, I wouldn't get an auto in this kind of car. So yeah, mine is a manual. Yeah, this car is naturally aspirated. A lot of cars in this class have a turbocharged engine. Most of them have like a 1 liter turbo 3-cylinder engine. This one doesn't have any turbos, and you do notice that when you go uphill, or say even when overtaking, you have to do a downshift. You have to rev the car out to get it going essentially. And yeah, it's kind of a downfall, because yeah, not having all that torque from a turbo and so on, but it is phenomenal to drive. It's actually very quick. Part of the advantage of having it being so light is that it's actually really fast. Like, I know it's just 61 kilowatts, but when you get going, like say on the highway in 5th gear doing like 100 kilometers an hour, you can easily go up to 120. Like, it really starts pulling when it's within the right rev range. I've noticed you only get the full power and torque when you're doing about 1,800 RPM. That's when the power kicks in. Below that, it's just dead, like literally nothing. As soon as it reaches 1,800 RPMs, you can literally feel the car leap forward and start pulling, which is very interesting, because in a way it kind of feels like turbo lag. Like, there's nothing, then we get going, which is, yeah, it's kind of fun. But yeah, for what it is, the Swift is brilliant. I mean, for the price that it comes at. I'll only talk about pricing and stuff in the ownership cost video. I'll leave that those things for that. But yeah, it is a phenomenal car. I've heard some people say, why would you buy the GLX? It's too expensive. I think the base price is around 225,000 rands. But I mean, think about it, all the stuff that you get, the Apple CarPlay, the power folding mirrors, and so on and so on. For me personally, it was a bargain. Like, it's an amazing car, like for just running around, for even going on long journeys. Like, as a first time car buyer, I haven't driven a lot of cars in this class. What does this car compete with price wise? In terms of price, it competes with stuff like the VW Up, the Kia Picanto, the Hyundai i10, and so on. One might argue even the VW Polo, because of the size of it, how big it is. But yeah, those are the kind of vehicles that you're looking at. And yeah, in this class, it doesn't have the best build quality, like I've already mentioned, particularly when it comes to the interior. Like I said, I haven't had any build quality issues in terms of the exterior, because sometimes you drive a car and the suspension starts making funny noises, the wheels maybe, and so on. This one, so far, none of that. It's only a few rattles here in the interior, which can be quite annoying, but I tend to outgrow them. Like, the overall vehicle makes me smile so much to a point where I don't really care about that. But when it happens, it's obviously annoying and so on. But as you can tell, you can't hear any rattles at the moment. It's just all quiet and so on. So that's my 2 cents on the Suzuki Swift. You guys do let me know what you think about this vehicle. What would you have gone for rather? I know some people would say I would have went for a second-hand VW Polo, or maybe a different kind of vehicle. I don't know, maybe even something like a Kia Rio, because you can get a used one for the price of this. But there isn't much that can beat what this car offers, because think about it, something like a Picanto or an i10, it's a bit smaller than this. Actually, not a bit, it's significantly smaller than the Swift. So when it comes to the practicality factor, this car blows those ones away. Like, boot space in this is insane. I had a really large suitcase in the back and another suitcase on the rear seats, which again I've already mentioned were folded and so on. And so traveling in this vehicle is so easy. Like, the amount of room that you get in this car literally competes with something like a Golf. Like, I kid you guys not. But yeah, that's my take. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do let me know what I've left out, or what other things you'd like to know about this particular videos, or even suggest other video ideas that I can particularly do on this car. Yeah, I just remembered one thing that I've forgotten, which is really annoying. This car doesn't have central locking. Okay, it does, but it's not automatic. You know how you jump into a car and as soon as you do like 30 kilometers an hour, the doors automatically lock? This car doesn't have that. A 2022 car doesn't have that, which is insane. Like, I don't get how they missed out on that. Like, literally every car has that. Even our 2009 Corsa utility bucky at home has that. A 2009 car has that, and this one doesn't. So you constantly have to remember that. You constantly have to remember to lock your doors, essentially, which is annoying. Imagine when you